$15 million settlement for the victims of a fatal boat crash in the Low Country. Mallory Beach was 19 years old when she died in the wreck in February of 2019. The boat belonged to the Murdoch family. Paul, son of convicted killer Alec Murdoch, was facing charges for boating while under the influence and drinking underage when he was murdered. The Beach family was suing Murdoch and the store where Paul bought alcohol the night of the crash. $15 million will go to the Beach family and the rest to the other teenagers on the boat.
And the settlement comes less than a month before that case was set to go to trial in Hampton County. Fox Carolina's Grace Runkle spoke with lawyers on both sides of this. So Grace, what do they want people to take away from this case?
Well, this has been a very contentious lawsuit. The case has more than 460 filings, so that means there's been a lot of back and forth between both sides. And even though the case has been settled, the lawyers involved are still very much at odds. I spoke with lawyer Joe McCulloch. He represents Connor Cook, one of the other teens on the boat that crashed. McCulloch says they spent hours in mediation yesterday with Parker's lawyers, and he says this was actually their third attempt at mediation. So he's happy his client can avoid going to trial and having to give a deposition, but there's one thing he is unhappy about. Now, shortly after the attorneys for the plaintiffs went public with the multi-million-dollar settlement, the lead attorney for Parker's issued a statement saying, in part, the cashier, quote, made a legal and valid sale as was determined by SLED. This case was never about that legal and valid sale, nor was it about the repeated bad decisions that these young adults made that night.
They're not relenting on this concept that they're not responsible and the law is unfair. And I'd call it sour grapes, except it's something a little more corrosive than that.
We got a similar statement from the attorney for the Beach family. It says, in part, the settlements with the gas station demonstrate, to use Parker's word, an exoneration of the young people in the boat that Parker so readily blames. Underage drinking is a serious and costly problem. Blaming the kids won't solve the problem. The statement goes on to say the Beach family hopes the settlement will serve as a warning to other businesses.
All right, and Grace, are there any other cases left relating to the boat crash in this situation? Because it seems like there's just so much back and forth going on.
Well, there is. And, it's not exactly about the crash, but there is a lawsuit that's related we could still see in court. In 2021, 2 years after the boat crash, the Beach family filed another lawsuit against Parker's, this time saying the company conspired to cause distress for the family by essentially launching a smear campaign against them on social media. Attorneys for Parker's have denied those claims. No court date has been set yet, but we will keep an eye on it. Live in the studio, Grace Runkle, Fox Carolina News.